All right, it's time for Ask Mike and Todd. You guys can send us questions, 609-403-0973. We'll have fun with whatever things you want to throw our way throughout the course of this conversation. We do it each day at 5:30. We have a little fun. Todd Ranck used to be the co-host of this show, The Sports Bash, and now with everything that's going on, we just figured we'd bring it back, a little taste of what we used to do. Ask Mike and Todd, 609-403-0973. You guys want to fire questions our way? We'll consider the questions. We'll throw them around the up the flagpole. But first, so we just finished off the top 5 at 5 Saturday morning cartoons. What was your favorite?
Oh, Gummy Bears, automatic.
You go, Gummy Bears.
Gummy Bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. High Adventures. I mean, I know the song, for God's sake.
Well, I just sung the song to that PT as well. I mean, he was not a Gummy Bears guy. Somebody texted in Gummy Bears, and I just threw those lyrics out.
Well, I would say this. Gummy Bears and then Thundercats. But Thundercats was morning, but then it went to the afternoon. I remember it started being an afternoon
Well, right. We had to decipher the difference between the Saturday mornings. Like DuckTales was a big one, but that was an afternoon cartoon.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was a big DuckTales guy, too. I'll give you that as well. You know, where have those cartoons gone? I don't know. Have you seen any with, like, you have a
They don't exist.
nephew, right?
They don't exist anymore. The Saturday morning cartoon has crumbled.
So what do these kids watch?
Nothing. You know, they don't watch anything. Kids watch. I said my girl has 2 boys that are in the house part-time. And when we moved into the house together, I said to the boys, I said, you guys want cable up here? They said, nah.
I mean, well, it's all, what is it all? It's all YouTube, and you can play everything out of your PlayStation and stuff, right?
YouTube, man. They'll go down the rabbit hole of YouTube. I don't even know what the heck they're watching. I mean, some of the stuff makes no sense, but, you know, I'm figuring out, like, I know a guy who plays MLB The Show on YouTube. You know what he makes?
No.
6 figures.
I was just going to say, do I even want to know?
No.
Do I even want to know?
I said, what are you talking about? He said, yeah, I get paid to play. People watch me play MLB The Show all day long on YouTube.
I mean, what are our kids doing? What are they learning?
Nothing.
I don't understand.
I said,
they're watching other people play games, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, and they're making like these places pay. You know, if you have X amount of viewers on your YouTube channel, you're getting paid for those viewers. Like some of these people get millions of viewers to just sit there and watch you do nonsense. That would be a great channel for you. You're great at doing nonsense. You should just do nonsense on a YouTube channel. That's your ticket.
I'm missing out. I could be making millions of dollars, apparently. Everybody just wants to watch me all day long.
Exactly.
That's unbelievable.
All right, here's a question that was posed. If sports returns before the coronavirus vaccine, will you go back to a live game?
You know what the funny thing, I rarely go anyway, so I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to lean to no. I'm not going to go to a live sporting event, probably for the rest of this year. And again, I don't think LA is going to even have one anyway for me to go to, but I just don't think there's not a need for me. There's not like a huge desire. Will there be? There's a desire to want to watch, right? I think I want to watch a game here.
All right,
and there.
let me reshape the question then. If you're not going to go to a game because you don't go, are you going to establishment with the buddies to watch a game?
Will I go to my buddy's house with six of us to watch?
No, just either someone's house or a bar to watch a game. If sports returns and they say the country's back open and you guys can go back and go out to the bars, but there's no vaccine, are you feeling like, all right, they're letting us go back and do normal? I'm going to go to the bar and watch. You know, I'm going to go watch the Lakers play the Clippers in the playoffs with no fans in the building.
Well, you know what's funny about that? It's a consensus answer because I'm not neurotic. So for me, I would do it. But it's a consensus answer where I'm going to ask my buddies. And I know right now that some of my buddies, man, they're on lockdown. They're wearing masks in the house. I mean, they're crazy out here. So I get a feeling they're not going to want to go out. So in that sense, then I would I'm indifferent. I go, all right, if you guys aren't going to go out, then I won't go out. You know? What do you think over there? Are you going to be going out right away?
It's weird because I think there's people who are itching to go out and just think, whatever, I don't care. We got to get back. There's a half and half world here we live in. We got half these people who say, you got to go back to work. You got to open the economy. This is a joke. Let's get back to work. You got the other people who are scared out of their wits. And then you got some people who are kind of just in the middle, la-di-da, and of whatever's going to happen. But I feel like more people, look, everybody wants to go back and do things. But I think the sports aspect of just going to the bar, hanging out, watching the game, that is what people, I think, miss the most. Just that little release on the Friday or Saturday of, hey, the game's on, let's go grab a couple beers and just, pontificate about our work week or whatever. And then, so I think that mostly people, yes, will go back and watch the game. But I do think people will not be flocking back to go to a game.
Well, and you just told me last week, I didn't even realize that you were going back into the office to do the show, where you were doing it from home. And I know there was some difficulties with doing the show. So you got that a little bit of a release where some people aren't able to leave even to go to a job. So you've got that where you can kind of get out of the house for a couple of hours. Do you think that saves you? Like, when you had to be in the house nonstop and you were doing the show from home, were you just going absolutely nuts?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm a homebody kind of to begin with. I'm kind of, my girl and I are both the same thing. Like, we were laughing on Easter that if we weren't in a quarantine, would we be doing anything different? We were like, probably not. Like, do we go out? Sure. But typically we're homebodies to begin with. We kind of hang out and do our thing at the house and whatever. Yeah. So, going back to do the show in the studio has kind of make it feel like there's not a whole heck of – the only thing that's really different is, I'll go out to lunch and sit down and have a lunch, but that's not happening right now, so that kind of routine is out of my mix.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'm, over my years as I've gotten older, we talk on the radio.
How's that hair doing, by the way? A little gray?
Little gray. Well, I don't cover my hair, so it's gray regardless, but – the actual length of it is starting to get a little bit puffy. And I will say I'm not, I'll use the product when I go to work or whatever.
Right.
There's been no product in this hair at all for about the last 2 months.
I'm contemplating giving myself a trim over this weekend. It must come in.
Well, what are you going to do? Get the Flowbee? Who's going to cut your hair?
Everybody goes to that Flowbee joke. That Flowbee hasn't been in business for years. I'm not using a Flowbee. I don't know. I got some sort of trimmer. I'll just, if I have to, it's going to come off.
Will the lady cut your hair or will you cut your own hair?
She said she'll watch YouTube and give it a go.
Oh, my God.
And she said, what's the worst that can happen? I said, well, the worst that can happen is it just comes off. I got a full head of hair. I'm not worried about it not coming back. Some of these people can't cut their hair because they're afraid it's not going to come back. I got too much.
Well, maybe you just shave that head one time. Why don't you just do a clean shave?
Well, that's what I said. I said, we'll go down a couple of things, a couple of clips, and if I don't like it, it just comes off. It's not going to go bald. I'm not going to go bald.
And nobody's going to see you for another couple months. It'll grow right back.
Well, right. If it's bad, I'll just put the hat on. No one's looking at me here anyway.
Now, what are you doing with the facial hair?
Right, that stays trimmed. I can do that. It's not like I could do that myself.
So we did a beard growing contest with my buddies out here, and I gave up. It was kind of like that Seinfeld episode where they were, who's gonna, let it go first and have to,
Right, master of my domain.
Yeah, master of my domain. So I was the first to cut out just because the way my beard grows in, it kind of grows out. It never really settles and lays down. So I just got irritated, and I said, guys, here's my money. I'm out.
Wow. How much was that? How much did that cost you?
No. We did a nice friendly bet, just a $20 wager.
Okay.
And we said, we'll see how it goes. Now, some of these guys, they want the beard, so they're not going to ever even cut it.
Mine gets to a point where it's the same like you're saying. It goes outwards. It doesn't really lay nice, so I got to keep it close. But, it is what it is. See, what happened was, for my Halloween costume a couple of years ago, I needed to grow the beard for the costume, and I've had the beard ever since.
And I'll be honest with you, it's a good look on you. It is a good look because you've had it for a while now.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 years now. I've had the close beard look.
And you always went clean shave when I was on the show with you.
Always was a clean shave. I was always clean.
Yeah. And now, I mean, you've just gotten used to it and you like it. And honestly, it's a good look on you. So I'd say keep it. I go with the 5 o'clock. I just keep it right around the 5 o'clock shadow. And then I'll upkeep once in a while. But, with this thing going on, I got hair growing out of my ears. I got hair growing out. I don't care.
Right, you get that one that goes right between the eyes. You get the couple of ears. The nose starts to hit you. I mean, that age starts to get you fast. Unbelievable.
I got the Anthony Davis unibrow working.
I'd like you to trademark that thing.
It is chaos over here. I won't leave this house just because I can't even present myself in public right now.
Now, did you watch any of that horse the other night? Did you give it a look?
Oh, my gosh.
It was bad. I thought they would have fixed it. I thought they would have done a better job and tweaked it a bit. It was awful last night. And by the way, the ratings were even worse. The ratings were 372,000 people who watched that last night. It was horrible.
I mean, look, I'll give NBA an A for effort.
I'm not knocking them for the effort, but I thought they would have improved the production value or improved whatever they could have for this second round.
Well, and I never watched the first round. You told me about it, so I did take a glimpse last night, and I'll be totally honest with you.
They played the first round leading into the second round last night, so they replayed it as if people wanted to see the first round.
Oh, my God. All I saw was Chauncey Billups and the winner, Conley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I saw that literally for a minute and a half. I turned it off. I texted you and Pete and said, I can't. This is god-awful. My brain is dying right now. I'm losing intelligence from that. I mean, even the commentating was bad. The whole thing was bad.
Well, the guy's commentating from his house. He's watching, not being creative, taking shots. I mean, it's poor.
It was tragic. I hope they learn a lesson from that. Again, you're doing what you can, but you could have put on anything from the past and I would have watched it before that. You give me a Lakers finals game. You give me something.
I mean, you could have given me a cornhole challenge and I would have been watching that.
That's a great point.
Some of those
love that cornhole.
Some of those cornholers, they are nice to watch. I mean, they bang those things in there every single throw. It's unbelievable. How do you get that good at that game?
Well, or give me the darts. I mean, those guys at the darts.
You run those darts.
Those are great.
Just a little darts, man. Maybe you do a little. What do we play down there? We're in Clearwater. What do we?
Could they do shuffleboard?
Just a little shuffleboard, man.
Hey, by the way, did you tell your listeners what went down with that whole Clearwater and what a disaster that ended up being?
What, this year?
Yeah.
Well, I haven't taken a day off since last year, and I'm off all the time. So, yeah, they know what's going on. I missed out on the whole damn trip.
I mean, did anybody call into your show, any of the listeners, and say anything about how their Clearwater trip got canceled and they couldn't go? Because, man, that could have been I mean, you kept communicating with me and you were like, this is possibly the worst thing that could ever happen.
It was, I love that trip. And I thought this year, no question, was lining up to be the best one we ever had. There were so many events going on. There were so many games. We had the NCAA tournament in Tampa. We had the XFL team with a buddy of mine playing on the team. I mean, we had games almost every night, and it was – I thought this year's trip was going to be the best one ever.
And we had a nice setup, too. The place that we got was a nice setup.
Ooh, we'll never see that place. We'll never see that place.
We'll never see that place again.
Never.
We will never see it.
Well, never again. I never saw it to begin with. Although I do have to give a shout out to Airbnb. They refunded us immediately.
Full refund, less than 24 hours. We canceled that trip less than 24 hours before we were supposed to wrap. I was already in Florida visiting my mom and was going to drive over to Tampa and pick you up at the airport. And literally the day before I was going to go, we finally called it quits. And we said, yeah, this just isn't going to happen.
Right, the walls came caving in. That Monday, I said, dude, I was planning on it. I said that Monday, right, I have got to pull the plug on this thing.
Well, and I honestly, if you didn't pull the plug, I was still a go. I still would have gone over with you. And I thought worst case scenario, we just stay in the apartment and we just hang out on the balcony and have a couple beers and just enjoy the week without basically doing anything. But I think it was the best call to make in retrospect. And I mean, I'm already talking with you when we get off the phone. about places for next year. I mean, we're already in the works to set it up.
Right. I said to my girlfriend, I said, well, that Todd thinks I should take my stimulus check and put it towards a pimp pad in Clearwater for next year.
I don't think she probably agrees with that.
Oh, man.
By the way, I haven't gotten that stimulus check yet myself.
Ooh, well, I know where your stimulus check went to.
You believe it went to pay the old taxes from the game show.
That IRS said, this guy ain't getting a freaking stimulus check from us. Are you kidding me? Right? You know who's getting that? Deal or no deal, fear factor. All right.
Back to bite me.
I got to run. Monday, you know what we got to do on Monday? We got a three-way. We got to bring Pete G into this. He's on paternity leave still?
I've never heard of it. He's got like an 8-month paternity leave. He's not the one who had the baby.
Right. He's on paternity leave during this whole thing going on right now. I wonder if they're going to let him go back to work. He's probably deemed not essential by this point.
I have to believe so.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe one day next week during this segment, we'll have to three-way him into this conversation. It's Ask Mike and Todd. We'll do it again on Monday. Have a good weekend, man.
All right, buddy. Enjoy it. Give my love to the family.
All right, that's Todd Ranck. Of course, we'll be back on Monday. Another edition of Ask Mike and